Shana Tovah, everybody. I wanted to do a Rosh Hashanah message for 2022 and just keep it short. I do have a longer video that you guys can check out if you'd like. It's about the 4 holidays that are upcoming, beginning with Rosh Hashanah. But this one, I just wanted to give a little message for this year, 2022, and share a little bit about my personal journey of Rosh Hashanah. Growing up, this was always a time of the year where it was family gathering, being together with my extended family, even having our apples and honey and our pomegranates and doing all the traditions. And as I got older and I got into Kabbalah, the deeper Kabbalah behind those layers of tradition in Judaism, I started understanding that it's not so much about the outward traditions for Rosh Hashanah. It's really more so about your ability to internalize this experience. It's about your ability to connect with the one within. It's the day of judgment. It's a time of judgment. So we don't want to only focus on the, oh, please, Creator, spare me and forgive me for everything and let it be a sweet year and dip our apples in honey. We also want to be real about it. We want to be real about this experience. We want to be real about this time where we turn to face ourselves and judge ourselves, essentially, because only God can judge, right? But there's only one here, and God is always watching through our own eyes. And so we must learn to judge ourselves appropriately. Judge on its own is not a negative term. Judgment does not imply punishment or, unnecessary punishment. That's a whole other video. It does not imply that we have to then victimize ourselves. Okay, so judgment is what it is. It serves its purpose, but as humans, what we do is we distort it. And when we judge ourselves, we tend to not be doing it from the most high perspective. And so we'll get stuck on self-victimization, for example, where we judge something, but then we can't forgive ourselves or we carry shame about it. And so we don't really properly move through the higher process of judgment, which should just be analyzing to refine and implementing what we've learned through that analysis. Okay, that's the proper way of judgment. When we're seeing through the eyes of the mother, father, God, or, both logic and intuition and the married voice of that, whatever you want to call that, when we're seeing through that higher perspective, we can properly judge ourselves in a way that doesn't have to be negative, in a way that's actually necessary and helpful as we progress on the path. So why I'm saying this is to just share with you guys that I invite you to see how, yes, the family traditions are beautiful and they bring awareness to this special time. And there's always power in numbers, but also let's acknowledge that it's a time of internalizing and connecting to that deepest place within and really putting ourselves in a space which doesn't always look like lots of people everywhere and parties and food, but putting ourselves in a space that's going to create the setting for us to be able to be most receptive to self-reflection, to be most real and raw and honest with ourselves, because Rosh Hashanah calls for that honesty. It doesn't call for the fake, just the apples and honey, I like to call it. It calls for the deeper self-reflection and internalization. So I invite you, even if you do the family ceremonies, take some time, at least a little bit of time, to go deep within yourself to a place where you can really hold up that mirror and look at all the ways in which this past year you may have thought, spoken, or behaved in a way that was anything less than absolutely sovereign. Anything less than with that intention to serve the Most High. All of it. And I'm not saying to do this so that you can look at it in shame. Again, that wouldn't be properly accessing the process of higher judgment. But use as much material as you can recall from this past year to say, okay, these are all the ways in which I can improve my thinking, my speech, and my behavior. Because the more we can recall, the more material we'll have to transform. It's like compost for the future, right? For the future fruits. So that's really what I wanted to convey this year, is the power of the other side of things, the darker side of Rosh Hashanah. Please don't just make it all about the apples and honey and the company. You will miss the point. You will miss those precious codes that are coming in, because this is a sacred, sacred time where our efforts are enhanced by the powers of the universe right now, the power of the cosmos and the power of nature coming together to give us this special opportunity to really go within, look at ourselves, and make the most of this final piece, this ending before the new beginning, right? Before Rosh Hashanah, it's a new moon, all of this. Equinox. Before we step into that new beginning, right? Because Rosh Hashanah is not about it's not about, how do I put this? It's not about the beginning exactly. It's about right before the beginning. Think of Genesis, right? In the beginning of the beginning. Okay? So Rosh Hashanah is less about like the birth, and it's more about the pregnancy. The eternal pregnancy, the eternal potential. So we're in that space. We're about to be born. And it's about really going within and asking ourselves, how can I put my best foot forward? How can I take the best first step I could possibly take with this new beginning? And that involves really reviewing my past, right? It's like you hear people say, I had a near-death experience or a death experience. I flatlined, whatever. And they say, my life flashed before my eyes. That's kind of the energy of Rosh Hashanah. And when you think of it like that, it reminds you that it's not all just apples and honey. Why do we even need those apples and honey? Let's not deny all that, the reason that we're even asking for this sweetness. It's like a child who's like, Mom, and being all kind, I love you, you're beautiful. It's like, what did you do? It's almost like this kind of energy. So instead of being like that, let's mature, let's evolve, and let's be real. And let's look at the true meaning of this holiday, not leaving out any part of it, really facing each part of self so that we can move forward the most whole and full of light that we possibly can be, with the fullest intention. So that's really my message of the year, okay? Remember, it's not just about the beginning, it's about also a proper ending. And it's about not just the apples and honey, but the deeper aspect of Rosh Hashanah, where we have to take that space to go within, to be able to judge in a real and also compassionate, right? Think of like compassionate king, Rosh Hashanah, we refer to the creator as the king. We're crowning the compassionate king. Really tuning into that space so that we can judge all that we've done this past year, to be able to move forward into this new year, into this new beginning, this new cycle, with confidence, with acceptance, right, of this past year and everything that led us to this moment, with confidence about all of it, about my process, about who I am, with acceptance about all of it, acceptance about every part of myself, with trust, with intention. So tonight is really the time, as the sun is setting, to envision yourself and envision your future. What does that look like? Me moving forward out of this past and into the future with trust, acceptance, faith, love, compassion, all those things. What do I need to heal right now before the sun goes down? Quick! What did I leave out? What do I need to heal in order to be able to take that powerful first step? Tonight's the night. Feel it all. Face yourself fully. Remove yourself from the crowd, if only for a moment, so that you can go within and do this honest, deepest work you'll do all year. Shana Tovah, everybody. Thanks for doing it.